Mitchell Trubisky did his first press conference since the trade for Nick Foles and did come out and say that he was pretty pissed off about that trade that the Bears made for Nick Foles. So let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about the Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, what are you doing? If you haven't subbed, go ahead and do so. I bring you the latest and greatest in Bears content that you can find. And I'm posting daily videos, so you really don't want to miss out. So go ahead and subscribe and turn on the post notifications. Hit that bell icon down below and follow me on my social media, guys. Do it now. What are you waiting for? So with that being said, the press conference, it happened. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get to. Let's get into it. So why am I talking about just a press conference, right? It's just a press conference. Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, it wasn't just a press conference. It was the first press conference that Mitchell Trubisky had since the Bears traded for Nick Foles, okay? And number two, he said some pretty interesting things that I want to talk about. So let's get started with that, okay? So basically, Mitch gets asked a question about how he felt when the Bears traded for Nick Foles. And he basically says, kind of interesting to me, that's the business we're in. I think I was pissed off in a good way. I've been motivated ever since, okay? And then he also said a few other things. My plan is to go out there and earn my contract. I want to be here in Chicago. I'm very locked in. And here's the thing. Surface level, right, doesn't seem anything crazy outlandish. And here's the thing with Mitchell Trubisky, and a lot of athletes really, they always say the right stuff when we're talking about these cliches, right? I'm putting in all the work. I'm doing all the right things, taking all the right steps. I'm, motivated, blah, blah, blah. So, again, a lot of this is cliche athlete talk, okay? But here's what you need to pay attention to and focus on, okay? Anything that you can kind of take away from this, right? Read between the lines. And here's what I got from this press conference, besides just the quotes. If you watched Mitchell Trubisky's press conference, not just read the quotes, you would notice that his body language was different, okay? I'm not underestimating this, guys. Go ahead and watch the press conference. Mitchell Trubisky's body language was of a guy who was pissed off and who was really looking like somebody that can't believe this is actually happening to him, right? Like he was angry. He looked angry. Like obviously he was trying to keep it professional. And Mitch is a nice guy. He's going to obviously say the right things, do the right things. He's never going to lash out or anything like that, okay? He's not that type of a player, individual person, okay? So he's always going to do that. And that is actually part of the reason I do feel like with Mitchell Trubisky for sure versus other quarterbacks, the Bears are trying to, obviously do everything they can, not only because he was the number 2 overall pick, but also because Mitch says the right things. He does the right things. The teammates love him. Like, there is no other complaints besides what? Obviously, the play on the field, which is the most important thing. But point being is, there's a lot of guys in this league that are talented that have other baggage. Mitch doesn't have that. So point being is, his body language was different. And how his body language was different was he looked angry. He really looked pissed off. And he came out and said it. I think I was a little pissed off. And you know what? If this wasn't a press conference and we were, recording a conversation with his friends, there would be some some expletives in there. There would be some curse words like, I am, pissed off. I can't believe this is happening to me. This is so motivating me to obviously go out there and win the starting job. I can't believe they traded for Nick Foles. That's pretty much what Mitch wanted to say, okay? That's probably how he feels. Obviously, he's not going to say all that because he has to keep it professional with the interview, but that is essentially what I got from how Mitch was presenting his body language. So here's the thing. A lot of Bears fans, I already know are going to say this. Faiz, he says this every year. We obviously don't care at this point. You got to prove it on the field. I got it. You have to. You obviously do. I totally agree. Nobody wants to hear anybody talking, all right? You got to show it, especially with Mitch. But here's the thing. I'm telling you, the body language looked different, which I like. So he did look pissed off. And I think Mitch really realized that this is his last opportunity, perhaps, to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Because these opportunities don't come around often. There's only 32 of these jobs, folks. It's one of the most exclusive positions in the entire world. Okay, there's only 32 of them. And Mitch knows that if he ends up not getting the starting job or getting it and then getting benched, then, he could be Blake Bortles 2.0, which a lot of people have compared him to. Obviously, he's heard a lot of talk about the guys taking behind him and Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, and for good reasons. They're very good. But I think Mitch knows, and he looked so pissed off. Like, he knows, I can't believe they traded for Nick Foles. I can't believe this is happening to me. I can't let this slip. And here's the thing you need to understand, folks. Everybody that's watching this, you guys have had jobs before. You guys have been in positions where, again, I'm not saying you don't try your hardest, but there's sometimes you do slip. You get a little complacent. You know what? You take it a little easy. And then what happens? Your boss, supervisor, whoever it is, comes to you, lets you know performance isn't there. You need to pick it up. And they hire a new guy. Or you hear rumblings that they're going to hire a new guy or a new girl, whatever. And what does that make you do? That makes you really get on your A game, right? Because you're like, oh, like I need to step it up around here, because if I don't, they could let me go. And again, you were taking advantage of the system before. You can't now because they have put you on notice. Okay, and not only have they put you on notice by telling you, we need you to step up your performance, but now they actually have a guy here to replace you if you don't step up your performance. What is more motivating than that? Right? Because that is the situation with Mitch. And this is why I told you, I want Mitch to succeed, just like every other Bears fan should be rooting for Mitch. I don't understand Bears fans that don't. It would only help the team. But even though I support and root for Mitch, I was a fan of the Nick Foles trade because, again, it would light a fire within Mitch. And to the point that everybody makes, like, why does Mitch need somebody to motivate him or light a fire? I just said it, right? Sometimes you get a little complacent. Sometimes you tend to take things a little too easy. Chase Daniel was never going to take away the starting job from Mitchell Trubisky. We all know that. And so when you actually are having your feet put to the fire, you're going to try to avoid it. And that is what I really do believe that point has been hammered home with Mitch now. Again, I'm not saying or guaranteeing anything. Like with Mitch, he could say all this, and obviously come training camp time, he could still not get the starting job, and still Nick Foles could start. But I'll tell you this much, he's going to give it 110%. I will tell you that much right now. Because the body language I saw, he's pissed off, he's motivated, he knows this is his last chance, and he knows he can't let this slip. We're talking about a premier opportunity to obviously seize the starting quarterback job of one of the most premier historic franchises in the NFL, who's had a poor quarterback history. So you have a chance to obviously right that ship, but also a team that has the potential to go far if your play is elite. So, like I said, folks, that is what I took away from the press conference. I recommend you guys all watch it because I want to hear what you guys took away from that press conference. But I'm telling you this right now. Mitch is not going down without a fight. For the people that think that Nick Foles is just going to come in here and take this job, I don't think that's going to happen. Could Nick Foles absolutely win the starting job? Yes. But Mitch is going to make things very difficult for him to give that starting job up. And he even mentioned the fact that, with the entire pandemic going on and, players aren't able to work out with each other and learning the offense, Mitch thinks he has an advantage over Nick Foles, and he probably does. Because, again, he's been in the offense for 2 years now. Nick Foles just got into the offense. Point being, though, folks, I'm telling you right now, this man looks pissed off, motivated. He looks like a man on a mission. A man that wants his starting job back. But we all know you got to go out and you got to prove it on the field. Okay? So let's hope Mitch does that. I'm rooting for him. I feel like every Bears fan should root for him. That doesn't mean you have to have blinders on and just say, if Mitch doesn't play well, you still keep him. Point being is root for him because Mitchell Trubisky winning and keeping the starting job is the best thing for the Bears' short-term and long-term future. You can bet that there. So with that being said, folks, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.